Hello, everyone, and welcome into Post-Show Headlines. I'm Andrew Salciunas with John Kincade. No post-show headlines tomorrow.
None tomorrow.
So,
it's draft day. I got to get down to Atlantic City to host the draft show down at the Hard Rock.
Oh, no, it's big meeting day on a Friday. That's always concerning.
Oh, we got a big meeting, too. But but I understand that the show will be on next Monday. I won't be.
No, you won't be. You're on vacation.
I'll be on vacation. I'll be down for
We're going to have to tell people that you were on vacation.
I'm going to be on Fort Lauderdale.
So listeners sent in questions we normally do on Fridays, but because we won't be around to do post-show headlines tomorrow, we're doing it today. And you have another theme, which is awesome.
Okay. Today, and I was looking for themes. I found 5 questions from listeners. And by the way, we now have 72 or 73 leftover questions.
And we've been doing the listener sending questions for like 2 months
But now that we're getting like 10 a week of new questions.
I love that. That's great. Thank you. Thank you all for being a part of it.
We appreciate you.
Like and subscribe too.
So what I did is I found 5 questions this week. People asking us questions as sort of market research on what they do for jobs.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to get the theme when you hear it.
So 1 week we had the questions about more inside radio.
Yes, this is people asking us questions about jobs that they do.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Vince
might show you how dumb I am.
Vince is on X.
Hello, Vince.
By the way, Vince works for a major streaming service.
Okay.
He says, how does your marriage survive choosing what series to stream? Do you watch the same streaming series together? Do you watch independently? This is what Vince does for a living. He heard us talking the other day about, well, Christy doesn't watch this, or Christina watches this. So he researches this. This is what he does for a living.
So my wife has really gotten into reading.
Okay.
Recently. Since last year. Yeah. And so
now, tangible books or Kindle?
Books, tangible books. She likes to hold the book in her hands. So recently, she's been reading while I watch something at night. Normally, I have like the Phillies game on the TV, but I'll put like Seinfeld on the laptop. I never watched Seinfeld from start to finish. I've watched like every episode, but never start to finish. But once I'm done that, I can do whatever. The Bear came out.
Okay. That's that restaurant show that everybody talks about.
The 4th season came out last night. My wife and I watched the first 2 seasons together. Season 3 was too hectic for her. She stopped.
Right.
And I was like, well, I don't want to stop.
Okay.
So go ahead and keep watching. So I finished it. So we don't need to watch shows together. However, we have like Game of Thrones we watch together, House of the Dragon, which is the prequel we are watching together. So there are some shows where it's like, wait, don't watch it until I get home. But there's other shows where she'll give up and I'll keep going.
And I say for Christina, if anybody's, if there's any kind of magic involved, witches and people flying around on dragons, I'm out.
You're happy for her, but you're not in.
And I'm not, but I will do something while she's watching it.
Right.
And if there's anything like she watches this Gilded Age, have you ever heard of that one? It's like whatever this Gilded Age is, she's all excited about. I'll read or do something, but be with her, but I'm not watching.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's the same type of thing. So Vince does that research.
Okay.
And he goes, but we found a way though. The thing is that we will be together as a couple. We both talked about both of us will be with our spouses, but we don't have to be watching.
Okay, interesting.
But we'll be there.
Way to use this as a free research study for you.
Well, Tomas wants to know the same thing.
Perez?
Tomas Perez? No, but Tomas says this.
Tomas Perez.
How about this one? This is going to seem like a really odd question, but Tomas actually does.
Or it could be Thomas, which is a
Lithuanian. Really, he does research on this.
Okay.
If you get $100 from an ATM, do you choose your bills or do you let the ATM just spit it out to you? And if you choose your bills, do you pick the option that says, I want to choose? What do you choose?
$100, I will do 520s because the 20 can always
that is the standard.
20 can always get broken down into a 5 or a 10 depending on what I'm buying. But I go 520s.
Because you want the smaller in your wallet?
Correct.
Okay, so you go smaller in your wallet.
Yeah.
I always say, let me choose.
Of course you do.
And I will take like 220s.
You do your ones.
And you can't get
for
ones
when you go to
from
the
an
strip
ATM.
club.
So there's got to be 10s. Well, they only go 10s on the ATMs.
When you go to Magic City.
How about this? He is actually an ATM marketing specialist.
How about that?
And he listens to us every day.
That's
and
fascinating.
He He goes, but they're thinking of this bank that he's working with is just thinking of adding 5s to ATMs.
Oh,
so
I
there's
would
a
take
follow-up
5s.
question.
Yeah.
If 5s was an option, would you pick 5s?
Yeah, I would pick 5s.
I would too.
Yeah.
See, I like 5s. I told him, I said, I wish 5s were available from ATM.
Yeah.
I wish you could get 5s.
I also even though we're so credit card friendly in today's day and age.
Right.
If I ever go to the casino, cash, I don't want to use their ATMs because it's like a $10 surcharge.
Sure.
The Brigantine Farmers Market, they prefer cash.
Okay.
Taxes and all that kind of stuff.
So you want to have some...
So I like having cash.
So there you go.
So every Friday, if I'm going down the shore, I usually stop at an ATM around here.
Where you don't have the fee.
Yeah,
you do on your own.
And I load up.
See, there you go. So Tomas, that's what he does for a living.
All right, that's awesome.
So there you go. See, we have there. That's it. I didn't even know that was a career.
Love it though.
That's his specialty.
Yeah.
He studies that. Okay, well, Davis wants to know this. Davis is like a maitre d'. Okay. Davis wants to know. The Salciunas are coming into dinner. The Kincades are coming into dinner. Mm-hmm. Table or booth is his first question. If you have a choice, are you table people or are you booth people? And if you have a profile, do you put it in your profile like on an open table or something that you want booth seating?
Oh, no, I don't. I didn't know you could do that.
I have it in my open table that I want booth seating.
But I'm a booth guy.
I'm a booth guy also.
More space, typically not only in the rear end portion of it, but also the table is usually longer.
I like more privacy too.
And
booth seems more private.
When my wife and I ate at the Love, which is her favorite restaurant, Rittenhouse Square, we got the corner booth,
and you loved it.
So she was on one corner, I was on the other. I was able to put my arm up on the wall. Oh,
dude, yeah. Well, his next question: if you would choose, would you want to be more the center of the room for people watching, or along a wall?
Along a wall.
Always along the wall. We're the same then. So we're both
because then I can also peek out the window sometimes too if I really want to get crazy.
So we're both along the same things. We both say along the wall. We both say booth. Last question: would you want to be more away from the front of the restaurant and more towards the back, or would you be more towards the front of the restaurant,
like toward the
dining room,
like the door?
You're in the dining room. Do you want to be more towards the front of the dining room or more towards the back, which might be more towards the kitchen? Some people do not prefer the kitchen.
No preference. I don't have that does not bother me.
I have no preference either.
No preference.
I actually prefer if the kitchen's in the back and you can see it, like if it's thing, I think I prefer to be more towards the front of the restaurant.
Okay. I like being able to see the kitchen though.
I like being able to see it.
Like I like the restaurants that are the open kitchen. Like I think that's kind of cool.
Do you have the hearing thing? I have a hearing thing though, where if I'm in a noisy place, and let's say there's an open kitchen, I can hear everything going on in the kitchen. If I'm having conversation, I'm hearing every clanking plate. I'm hearing everything going on. Like that's the prominent noise to me is not the conversation; it's the clank.
Nah, it doesn't
really doesn't bother you.
All right, I'm going to ask another question.
Yes.
Off of his question.
That is Davis.
You're at an establishment that has like a nice round bar.
Right.
They have the high tops, but then they have also the bar seating. It's open, completely open.
Right.
You sit at the bar, you sit at the high top.
Bar seating.
See, I go bar seating as well.
I go bar seating.
But my wife, I think, would pick the high tops because it's a little bit more private.
Christina hates high tops.
I'm not anti-high tops.
Christina hates high tops, so I always would choose bar seating because I know she hates high tops.
Interesting.
She cannot stand high top seating.
Doesn't
like it. She doesn't like it.
What's not to
like? She doesn't feel comfortable because it's usually you're sitting on a stool.
Got it. Okay.
So it's the seating.
Fair.
Whereas, but I say, but she goes, but the bars, now a lot of the bars have the half moon chairs, nicer chairs and everything. Sure. So it's nicer.
Okay.
All right. Good job. Lynette.
Hello, Lynette.
Always try to fit a woman in there on our questions. Lynette is a flight attendant.
Okay.
By the way, Lynette has been flying for over 20 years.
That's amazing.
And her boys and her husband got her into Kincade and Salciunas.
Oh, well, thank you to Lynette's boys and husband.
They were introduced to you through when you worked with Cuz.
Anthony, okay.
When you worked with Cuz, and they've been listening to me since we're together, and they like us together.
Oh, great.
So, Lynette.
You guys are the best.
You get on a Southwest flight, boys, and the seats are wide open. Because you don't have the assigned seat. You're in Group A.
Oh, got it.
You're Group A. You're Group A. You're walked into the plane. Seats are wide open. Where are you each sitting? Seats are wide open because it's you Group A, Southwest. You walk in. The plane is your oyster. You can sit wherever you want. Choose your seat. Where are you sitting? She's fascinated to know.
Furthest up I can be in an aisle.
So you're saying you're sitting in 1A or 1C?
Yeah, why not?
So you would. Okay.
Because I can get off. I'll get off.
It wouldn't be me.
I'll get off the plane quicker.
See, it wouldn't be me. I'm going back to like 3 or 4 because I don't want a bulkhead seat. I hate the bulkhead because one, you get the bulkhead.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to sit bulkhead. I don't want the wall in front of me.
I'm fine with the wall.
So I'd be fine with.
Sometimes I can put my leg up.
I want like 3 or 4.
Okay.
I want row 3 or row 4 on the aisle.
Yeah, I'm out, and I'm a light packer. So
you are light packer.
Like carry on, boom. I'm gone. I'm in my Uber by the time the last row's off the plane.
When we blew through that Atlanta airport, I learned that.
Hell yeah, man.
Boy, we moved through that like OJ.
Hell yeah.
In the airport.
Yes,
we did. So that look at this. Look at this.
I'm a duffel bag guy. It's all.
We went through that airport fast in Atlanta. So Lynette, aisle seats. Now Andrew will go row 1 if it has to be, but I'm going back to like row 3.
Okay.
I'll be like 3C or 3D.
And I like the window, like when I'm going over like places I've never seen before, but it has to be like, all right, I'm going to see this really cool view.
But if not,
like when I was flying into Denver, like I wanted to sit on the window to see the mountains, but like
when you go to Vegas,
yeah,
because you're going to go to Vegas, I'm going to make sure this happens.
You're going to make me sit aisle,
or
window.
Got to see window.
I see the Grand Canyon, right?
Oh, it's spectacular. Yeah. And then when plus you get to see all the stuff going across the mountains.
That's true.
You see all that stuff on your way across. All right, last one. Charles.
Hello, Charles.
Okay. Charles wants to know, also from the restaurant industry.
Okay.
What waiter or waitress do you prefer as far as level of Charles hires waiters and waitresses for a major chain restaurant? Hires waiters and waitresses. This is his job.
Okay.
So what level? But he's interested in our question about what level of friendliness do you want? What level of chattiness do you want from a waiter or waitress? What number? How often do you want the waiter or waitress visiting your table? That is actually something he was in for training last week in Philadelphia.
Wow.
He had to do a training session. People were coming from around the country, and they were doing training on it. So he wanted to know if our opinion matched their research.
This is hard because I worked in a chain restaurant, but
okay. By the way, his chain restaurant, I can tell you, is not like a fancy, but not like a Applebee's.
That's where I work.
It's above.
It's above that.
It's above that.
So like, I'm sure Charles also understands that if you're serving 2 tables versus like 6 tables, these things are all a little bit different. But like the style of waiter or waitress, like I don't need it to be chatty. Obviously, friendly's nice.
Sure.
If my drink is almost empty, because this was a rule we had at Applebee's, don't go to the table when the drink is empty. Go to the table when the drink is almost empty.
Sure.
So that when the drink is empty, the next one is being brought over. So attentiveness is nice. But again, being that I worked in the food industry, I also know that you can't always be attentive. Like you just got to remember that you're serving a table. So somebody that's coming over, I would rather when the food gets dropped off, and I understand some finer restaurants, there's the runner.
Right.
And the waiter are two
Comes
different.
By
it's two different.
Right.
I would rather the food be dropped off and the person right away be there saying, "Is there anything you need?" Instead of I have the mouthful of food. So how is everything?
Yes.
And then I'm going, "Oh, good."
Right.
I would rather them drop off the food and be there right away saying, "Is there anything else?" Because here's the deal. When's the last time you went to a restaurant and the food was served and you're like, "Oh man, this is really missing paprika." Like you've never, like maybe
I don't have an educated enough palate.
No, but like salt, pepper, like it's at the table.
Right, exactly.
Like if you're at a burger joint,
but you can taste this is cold.
Right.
This isn't hot.
Sure. And so
I never send food back, by the way.
I've never in my life.
I'm always afraid it would be spit in.
I agree, and I think I've seen that before.
Yes.
Seriously. If somebody were to drop off the food, I would want to be asked right away, "Is there anything else you need?" Instead of when I got the mouth.
That's not bad. And I want the friendly waiter or waitress.
Yeah.
Friendly waiter or waitress.
Friendly,
but
absolutely.
I don't want the long drawn out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here for food. I'm not here for you.
Right. I'm not the long drawn out one.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's great.
I hope that we help Charles.
Hope that helps. Hope everybody had a great day today. Like and subscribe. And
because you're helping us out. We just helped 5 of you. You help us too.
Say we did some market research today.
All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you next week. See you.